What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news for you concerning Timothy Desert Storm Bradley. According to many sources, Timothy Bradley, Mr. Desert Storm, has stated that he's actually considering retirement. And because it's for health reasons. I don't know what the particular health reason was, but anything concerning your health, by God, you need to. Timothy Bradley, he has the money. He's made his mark in the sport of boxing. He's fought some of the best guys that he could possibly fight at his roster, being with Top Rank. I think that he deserves retirement. I think he's one of the toughest guys to date, and a lot of fighters would agree that Timothy Bradley is a strong, tough fighter. He's never been knocked out. I mean, he's come close to getting knocked out. He's been dazed a couple times. But I think, he should retire. I don't think there's anything else that Timothy Bradley can do in the sport of boxing that he hasn't done already. And you got guys like, they're trying to force Timothy Bradley to fight guys like Earl Spence, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Kell Brook. And I would love to see those fights, but if he's having health problems, he doesn't need to be in there with someone like Earl Spence, someone fresh, young, hungry, strong, tall, gifted. Keith Thurman either, Sean Porter either. These guys are young guys, man. There's a heavy expiration date on fighters. And then if you go back on memory lane, let's look at Timothy Bradley's career. He's infamous for winning against Manny Pacquiao on a decision that almost everybody and their mom agreed that he lost, which I believe he did too. I agree. But, he won the official decision against Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao goes and gets knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, his arch rival, right? What happens in the next fight? He fights Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley takes Marquez to school in a good, and little scruffy little scrap. It was a good fight. But Timothy Bradley was the one victorious. There was no doubt about it that he did beat Juan Manuel Marquez, the guy that knocked out Manny Pacquiao for damn near a minute. So, he made his sport and he made his mark in the history of boxing. It's funny about trinities and trilogies of different fighters that they are the creme de la creme supposedly, but they get beat by their arch rivals, but there's always somebody that can beat them. I always think about, Ali getting beat by Frazier, then Frazier getting beat by Foreman, then Foreman getting beat by Ali, right? So, you can look at that trilogy the same way with Timothy Bradley. He played a key element in that equation. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, he's made he's made his mark in the history of boxing. However, I think a lot of his damage, if he's suffering from damage like maybe brain trauma or concussions. Speaking of concussions, he took most of his damage in the Ruslan Provodnikov fight. He fought a guy that he thought that he was going to run over. He fought the wrong type of fight with Ruslan. There was no way in hell he should have been in there trading with Ruslan Provodnikov. And then Ruslan was another guy that no one knew shit about. He was an ESPN fighter. Unless you watched ESPN2, you wouldn't know who Provodnikov was. He was a guy with one loss. Timothy Bradley didn't have a loss at that time. He probably supposed to have deserved one. But Timothy Bradley, went in there with something to prove because he was pissed off because everybody thought he lost the Manny Pacquiao fight. And he suffered a lot of punishment in that fight. Even though he won, he showed balls, he showed heart. He showed what he needed to show. But really, I don't think, the punches that he took in that fight, some fights are not really even worth fighting. Yeah, for the fans, for bragging rights, for honor, for glory. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I did that. I went toe-to-toe with Ruslan Provodnikov. But who in the fuck in their right mind would do that? That was the wrong game plan. He should have boxed him like he remembered in certain spots in that fight. Joel Diaz urged him, like, what are you doing? He was hurt 2 or 3 times. He was out on his feet in like the 9th round. He was just throwing back. He was just throwing windmill punches because he was getting hit with these sledgehammer punches by Ruslan. He took a lot of punishment in that fight, bro. And the thing is, that's what gave him residual problems in the future, because he was never the same type of fighter. Even when he got back in the ring fighting Pacquiao again, you could tell that, he would get hit and, he becomes disembobulated. Look at the Jesse Vargas fight. You think Jesse Vargas, yeah, he landed a good right hand, but that was because Ruslan damaged him. When anytime you get knocked out or you get severely hurt, like Timothy Bradley was in the Provodnikov fight, or like any other fighter just gets hurt or knocked out, you expose your nerves in your jaw. You have pressure points all over your body. And when you start getting pressure points exposed due to punching, you're more subject to those punching powers, subject to that particular damage. And that's those punches, like Jesse Vargas landed that shot and he thought he knocked him out and all that, and he was out on his feet. That could happen in the future, and that's only going to get worse. Look at Fernando Vargas when, before he got in there with Trinidad and after he got out of there with Trinidad. He never was the same fighter because he took too many punches, too much damage to the head, to the chin. All those pressure points are now, you're more likely to get knocked out now because now those nerves are exposed, due to blunt trauma. So Timothy Bradley should retire if he, I'm down for any fighter that has a clear mind, that's not punch drunk, that can remember shit. I'm for that person, because remember, at the end of the day, yeah, you're a fighter, you're a warrior, you're a sportsman, but understand, you're someone's son, you're someone's father, you're someone's uncle. You know what I mean? You belong to someone else. You're still someone's family member, and it's only right to go back to that family member in good health. So if Timothy Bradley wants to retire, by God, let him. Shouldn't anyone say anything about it or complain about Timothy Bradley? Because again, I wouldn't want to get in there. I wouldn't want to start off my career or end my career with some of the hardest fights that I could possibly fight right now. You better do what Manny Pacquiao and Floyd did. Fight someone easy, get a nice little payday, and get the hell out of Dodge. You know what I mean? So, but I commend him on that. If he decides to fight, I hope it's for the best. I hope it's nothing that he feels that he has to prove, like he did in the Provodnikov fight or something like that. Listen to your instincts, listen to your family. If you can't fight, don't fight. Sit down, enjoy your family. But anyway, this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. I'm just wrapping it up. If you guys been counterpunched, peace.